Hey guys, and welcome back to my Daily News X. Well, I'm your host, Kramer, today, and this time we bring you a very sensitive topic to talk about. The SNAP crisis. So what's changing November 1st? Who's at risk? And what cities and states are doing? Which businesses will feel it? And how people can get ready if benefits stop. So this matters because millions of people depend on SNAP benefits to put food on the table for the kids and families. So let's get into this so we can talk about and discuss about what's happening to these families all over the U.S. But first, the big picture. SNAP serves roughly 41 to 42 millions of people each month. That's millions of families, seniors, veterans, and workers who rely on monthly EBT deposits for groceries. So right now, there are two separate but overlapping threats. One is the federal government funding gap tied to the government shutdown that could stop on November benefit payments. And the other one is a new federal policy changes. So this is going to start rolling in around November 1st. So that tightening work and eligibility rules for some recipients, by the way. So what exactly could change in November 1st? But number one thing is for sure is the funding at risk. USDA has told states that SNAP is funded throughout October, but warned that if the federal funding pace continues, there may be insufficient funds to pay full November benefits. That's why several state and county offices have posted urgent notices telling recipients that November deposits may be delayed or unavailable. So in short, guys, October is safe. You're good for October. But November is uncertain. Another thing that could happen is we have tighter eligibility and work requirements. So separate policy action this year tightened. So ABOD, able-bodied adults without dependents, that's what it means, and other eligibility rules. So analysis show that these changes could reduce participation by roughly 1 to 2.4 million people in a typical month once fully implemented. So depending on the state responses, that's fewer people qualifying going forward, not just a temporary payment pause. Now, who will be hit the hardest in this if this program stops running starting as of November 1st? Well, the most impacted will be households, low-income families who count on monthly SNAPs to buy groceries, seniors or fixed incomes with little savings, single adults, and those with unstable work hours particularly. We also have ABODs who now face stricter work or training hours to keep benefits, veterans, homeless people, and those with intermittent employment may also be pushed out if the program runs out of funds by the end of this month. We have another problem, geographic and hotspots. So states with higher SNAP reliance, thinking parts of the deep south, like the Southwest, and some rural counties will feel bigger shocks. And some places are already preparing emergency messages. For example, local offices in states like Colorado and Minnesota have publicly warned recipients and paused certain actions to preserve flexibility. I also want to talk about businesses because I think they also are going to be affected in this situation. Which businesses and services will be affected? That's the question. So think about grocery stores and corner markets. So one example I can give you is Walmart, public supermarket, some groceries, stores, small shops, probably owned by one owner possibly. So SNAP purchases are major revenue stream for many small grocers and bodegas in low-income neighborhoods. If SNAP deposits don't arrive, that means those stores will see immediate dips in sales, particularly for staple items. And that can ripple into inventory and payroll issues. We also have another big problem, and it's the food banks and nonprofit organizations. Well, they're going to expect surges in demand. Food pantries, soup kitchens, and community programs will likely see more people turning to them for the first time. Get ready. We're coming for you. All right, so we have another issue, and it's retail supply chains. If SNAP reductions are prolonged, There's less spending power for groceries overall. Also, vendors and distributors could see reduced orders in affected regions as well. Now, what our states and cities are doing right now as we speak? What are they doing about this situation that is happening? Well, many counties and state agencies are posting alerts and guidance, telling people to check EBT balances and keep contact information current. Some states are passing new applications or even delaying certain paperwork just to manage workload while they're away federal guidance. A few local governments are coordinating with food banks to ramp up emergency support if benefits are delayed. I think that's very good, and I'm glad that you're doing that. Examples include county notices in Colorado and advisories out of Minnesota and New York. All right, so how can people be prepared if SNAP services stop all of a sudden in November? Well, if you're one of the people that receives SNAP benefits, you got to listen to this video because they might help you. So if you receive SNAP as of right now, please check your EBT balance and notices now. Don't assume funds will arrive on a schedule. Verify what's on your card and whether your state has sent any messages. Update contact details so you don't miss emergency mail or text from your state agency. Identify local food resources ahead of time. Do your homework. Go to food banks, church pantries, school meal programs, and community centers often publish schedules and working hours. Reach out before you run out of food. This is a warning, guys. You got to be ready. Budgeting moves. If possible, prioritize shelf-stable staples and items with longer shelf life, meaning canned foods, cereal, beans, whatever is non-perishable. Reduce non-essential spending this month. Even small buffer helps. Now, if you're an ABOD or could be affected by work rules, you have to start documenting your hours, training, volunteer work, and ask your state caseworker about exemptions and community work programs immediately. Don't wait for the last meeting. Start recording every single information that you have or the things that you have done in the past couple of days. Work-related or training programs, whatever is on hand. When things goes back to normal, you can retro all that information, give it to your caseworker, and tell him the timing and the things that you did as a volunteer or working a small part-time job, whatever you have. But have it in written. For small businesses and community groups, please communicate with your customers about emergency assistance options. Partner with food banks to anticipate surges and set up donation or voucher programs. Adjust inventory for staples and avoid overstock. That could become a cash flow issue if SNAP sales drop. Now, this is the $1 million question, guys, because a lot of people are asking me all this all the time, and also it's something that we don't know, basically. So, how long could this disruption last or the government shutdown? Well, we don't know for sure. If Congress passes the stopgap funding or a spending bill quickly, that pause could be a short and benefits restored immediately. If the shutdown continues, the impact could last until funding is resolved, potentially weeks, and separately, the eligibility changes are structural and will last unless the law is changed or states are use waivers as flexibilities. So it's a short-term timing risk, meaning November payment timing, and we have a medium long-term participation risk. That's for the new rules. So this is what I want you to remember, guys. All of this that we talk about right now. October benefits are covered. November is a risk. All right. So if the federal funding standoff continues, act now. Don't wait until the last minute. Check your EBT card, read the state's notices, and find local food supports. New rules hitting around November 1st. It will reduce eligibility for some groups. That's a separate but overlapping issue that could remove benefits for millions over time. For small grocers, food banks, and communities, they will feel the shock, and many are already preparing themselves. If you can, support local food programs, please. Donations and volunteer time helps. All right, guys. So we'll be tracking this as it progresses, because every day you get new updates, from the government, the website and everything. So I'm gonna keep you as up to date as I can, because agency, Congress, or the USDA issue, like I said, every day new guidance, every minute. So if you found this helpful, please share it with a friend, a family member, or even your neighbor, and subscribe. This is my daily news X, because when food security is on the line, we all need to know. Well, I'm your host, Kramer. Please stay informed, reach out early, and take care of each other. Have yourself a great day.